What's up, guys? It's Caius here, and today I'm going to be doing a partial review of Trinity Trigger. It's a JRPG that just released yesterday, and I want to give you guys the general consensus of where I feel about the game and whether to help you decide whether it's worth buying or not. Now, just for a little bit of credentials, I've played JRPGs all my life. I'm 33. I've played everything from Earthbound to the Breath of Fire series to the Tales series. You pretty much name it, I've probably played it. That's what I love to do. I love to go through them. Now, while I don't love all as much as some other ones, this one has me a little bit torn. And I'm going to tell you the score I giving the game about 6.5 hours in before we actually do a review, and then you guys can make a decision for yourself if you want to get the game. So for me, I have the game at about a 6, maybe a 6.5 after today on how I feel about the game. Definitely my second time playing it, which was today, has felt a little bit better than the first time. But we're just going to kind of talk about some of the things I like about the game, what I'm kind of about, what I don't like, and what I kind of expected. And to start, what is Trinity Trigger? It's a JRPG published by Xseed.
Let's go.
And it's an action RPG. I mean, you go around, you attack, you have some party members, they attack as well, they have their own AI, and that's the gist of it. It's an action RPG. And the reason I got it is the trailer I saw, it was highly advertised pretty much to be a spiritual successor to Secret of Mana, which was a Super Nintendo action RPG game. And you definitely see some of the similars. The 3 party members lined out exactly the same way in the bottom. You have your weapon wheels, you have your item wheels, just like what you'd like to see in a Secret of Mana game. So it got me very excited because that was a game I grew up with and probably beat 13 or 14 times and played a lot of multiplayer on it with. And this game does have multiplayer. So there were a lot of signs that said, hey, let's buy the game. Now, unfortunately, I had no idea how much this game was going to cost, because Steam didn't literally put up a price until it released, and then their DLC pack took even longer to release. Like, it didn't pop up right away, so I bought the $50 version. And again, it was $50, which I'm scared to spend on new games nowadays, because I've gotten burned on games like Dealfield Chronicles earlier this year, and $50 to me, the game better be banging, pretty much. It better be coming off the gate swinging. And I didn't quite feel that with this one. Now, my expectations were going in was it was supposed to try and capture the charm of Secret of Mana. I expected a better battle system, decent music, I expect a decent story, I expect multiplayer, and I expect shenanigans with weapons, like weapon wheels and having all these kind of different weapons to use when I think of a Secret of Mana game. And I was hoping this would be a game to do it better. There was a remake of Secret of Mana years back, and it was okay, but it still had a lot of the issues Secret of Mana had, which was the stamina system and stuff like that, and having to wait to attack, and then, frame rate drop, and all kinds of issues that Secret of Mana does have, even though I love the game. I just had really good expectations, but I don't always go in necessarily thinking just because it's a new game, it's going to triumph something that's good as Secret of Mana, which was a classic made in the 90s. Now, another thing to see was this game was tagged by Xseed. It's published by Xseed. And they did some of the East series games, YS. If you guys have never checked those out, those are like the king of action RPGs in my opinion. They're difficult, they're hard, they feel good, controls are great, stories are great, and music is amazing. And I kind of expected to see maybe, oh, hey, multiplayer published by Xseed, we might get what a hard East experience could be like. High difficulty gameplay, great controls. Unfortunately, it missed on some of that stuff, and we'll go into that later. But I figure we'll start with the good. What I like about the game. So the first things first, I'll kind of show as we go. The combat is very smooth. But yeah, see? Hit a button, it does it. Controls go where you want them. It's literally an A spammer. Occasionally you'll hit Y for a special like this. Just like that. You have a little dodge, which in this game, if you time your dodge exactly as you're going to get hit, you get what's called, as I call it in East games, a flash dodge. You won't take any damage, you'll get some of your stamina back. Now, it's not showing, but if I go in the dungeon here, above their head there will be a stamina bar. Go find the first enemies you can fight right up here. But you have a little stamina. It's that blue circle above our head. And it refills quickly. But if that hits 0, your attacks pretty much do no damage. It's almost like the Secret of Mana thing improved. It's actually a big improvement, because the Secret of Mana, you would attack once, and you'd have to wait for a bar to charge to do full damage again, or either you just do shit damage. So this game gives you a little bit more leeway to combo. There's the stamina bar right there. And it's pretty good. It changes depending on the weapons. Like hers is a little bit heavier, but fists in this game have better stamina control. But it refills pretty quick, and as you can see, you guys swap between the characters, play as them all, just like an East game. Great feature to have. It's very quick. I don't have to go to a menu and switch like I did in old Secret of Mana. So far the stamina system is better. Better than anything Secret of Mana did. Now, you also get something called the Trinity weapon system. Now, each of these characters comes with a pet called a trigger. I won't go much more into it because I don't want to get into spoilers. But those triggers can become different weapons. So each character will unlock different ones that transform different weapons. So, for instance, the main character can swap between sword, fist, and bow right now. And you can hotkey these. As you can see by using the directional pads, I have the hotkey to pull them out. So I don't have to keep going to the menu. It's an amazing system because it gives you weapons for each character. And when I say weapons, it's not like she's using a bow, I can't use one. I just pulled out a bow too. So you can have multiple of the same weapon, which was something lacking in Secret of Mana, which is a great feature to have. It lets multiple people, if they both like the same weapon, they don't have to fight over it, they can both use it. It's great. Look at the game, I think looks good. I think it has its own unique aesthetic. It's like kind of like anime-ish, but it also just has a weird, like, almost like cel-shaded look for like the GameCube era that I just like. I think it's appeasing. It does well for the world. It makes me feel like I'm there at points. Voice acting, which we're not going to show because you won't see much of it out of story context, is good. The voice acting hasn't missed. I feel like all the characters have a good voice that represents the character. It's not cheap. It's not dated. They put some money into it, you can tell. Now, you have the mini-map on the top, which is great. I always love that. They added that to the Secret of Mana remake, and it was a good feature. You can hit select to open up a bigger menu if you want to see. And then if we go down here... let me go to a zone that has them. We'll go right inside here, actually. If you go into a map, there's hidden treasure chests. Now, this map says there's 1 of 2 found. So this lets you know on this floor, floor 1, there will be 2 chests. If I go on the second floor, it'll say 4 chests. So this lets you know to at least you're able to look for them. Okay? So that's a good feature to have. I like being able to know that there is treasure to be found. And I think it's a good feature that they added to the game. Now, as I said, you can switch between the characters, which is kind of cool. You can play with them. They can each have their own weapon swaps. And we go from there. Now, part of the Trinity system that I like is if you open up the menu, and this is for each weapon. So for instance, I pick up the main character here.
All right.
Go to weapon customization. You pretty much have a 3-part combo you're spamming with the bow. So if he uses the bow, he has a 3-part combo. Now, you get to choose between 1 of 2 for each part of the combo. So the first hit, I could choose between Sonic Arc and Multi-Shot. They have a power and do a different thing. I could choose again between 2 for the middle of the combo and the end of the combo. And that goes for all his weapons here. All his weapons have 2 parties. Now, at first, I was excited because I was like, oh, does that mean his fist combos are going to be completely different? Because if you look, their fist attacks are named completely different. But that's not the case, unfortunately. Like, if you look at his fist attack, if I pull it out here, he does like a 2-punch, a big punch, and then an uppercut. If I switch to another character that has the fist, it's the exact same thing, which was kind of disappointing, but I understand that would be a lot to code. So the fact that you're going to have, I think it's, what, 8 different weapons is enough. That's all you need. So far, so good. Okay? Overall, I think it's good. And then in addition to that, in addition to the weapon, you have your item wheel. And then you can also attach these things to your weapon. One to each weapon, and 3 to each weapon in the armor category. So a weapon has a weapon category and an armor category. So for instance, to my fists, I could attach one of these augments. I have a 15% damage one on it currently. That does some other stuff. I can also attach 3 defensive things to each weapon as well. So in this case, I have armor, life, and prevent slow. That's pretty much where the good stuff ends. The good stuff, I have to say. Now we go into the meh. Secret of Mana is known for its music. In any JRPG, you'll play it, you'll go do something else, and you'll hum the song. You'll hum a song from the game. It'll happen often. Great example of that recently was Octopath 2. Literally 50 songs in that game, I probably hummed them all, because they were just so good. This game hasn't had one memorable song that I remember, or hum, or think about. The music is kind of lackluster, and again, if you're trying to be a Secret of Mana successor, Secret of Mana had some of the funkiest, best music there was out there. And it was really disappointing, and I think they could do way better. Not saying it's all bad, but it's nothing catchy that I care to listen to. The characters themselves, you have Cyan, Elise, and I don't even remember his name. Xantis. Not very memorable. They're kind of just eh. Not great characters. Same issue I would like with the Dealfield Chronicles. The characters weren't really memorable. Don't really have any attachment to them. Nothing important about them. That's all I have to say about them. I wish there would be a little bit more about them. Story. Story, again, is kind of eh. Like, the general story is there is a god of order and chaos. They've been fighting an eternal war. For some reason, they're not fighting each other anymore. And they each picked a champion, which are humans, to represent them, and they're supposed to fight each other to the death. But people keep assassinating each side, not allowing them to fight. And that's how your story starts. It's nothing special. Octopath 2, again. Go play that if you want a great story. Triangle Strategy, Tales of Symphonia, Batten Kaitos Origins, Breath of Fire 4, Breath of Fire 3. So many better games of stories that will stand out to you. Okay? Dungeons. Dungeons, they're okay. They're pretty much just a big square with sectioned off rooms. Have a couple enemies in them. Have some chests, which are kind of boring. And that's it. They all feel the same. It's almost an example of like the Diablo 4, like dungeons all feel the same. This is exactly what this feels like. They all feel the same. I haven't, at this point, being in the 3rd or 4th zone in the 3rd or 4th area on the world map, felt anything different. And I would like to see just a little bit more diversity. This one started at least giving us traps, which is kind of cool, but we kind of already had those. But it just added a different kind of trap. So I'd like to see like more trapped rooms. We've gotten a few of those. Maybe some mini bosses, maybe some side areas that have mini bosses in dungeons. We've only gotten them on the world map. And that's about it for the dungeons, I have to say. And then there's your side quests. I'm tired of the generic exclamation point, go here, talk here, fetch quest, boring, go do this. It's so much cooler if you're just walking and you just talk to a random person. Because I like to interact with the people in the town. I like to talk to everyone. And they just tell you something's going on. Like, hey, there's a swarm of bees that tend to attack people this part. It'd be great if somebody did something about it. That, to me, is much better than an exclamation point because it takes the immersion out. And then I just happen to be going in a direction towards this area, and I see these beehives attacking people. I can break them, and I break them, and it says, oh, hey, you did it. Go talk to such and such to get a reward. That's better to me. And that's what I would have loved to see. I feel like the whole like side quest thing it's really... It's sleeper. It's Resident Sleeper. That's what I'm just going to say. It's Resident Sleeper. Those are the meh things about the game, and unfortunately now we're going to go to the terrible, which there's a lot of them. Party member issue. And this is something that is in the East games. You pick one party member. You have full control of him. He does what you want. These two will attack and just do whatever, but they suck at dodging. They get caught in traps. They get stuck. Same issues in Secret of Mana. The only good thing is they make your side party members, well, they're not in your control. They get like a big damage reduction to certain like things. Like where I would take like 30 damage from a trap, they might take like 2. And it's just, there needs to be some way to control your AI. Secret of Mana actually had it in the form of a checkerboard. You could control their aggressiveness, if they were going to use their specials. They could do all kinds of things. That's what sucks. These characters all have charge abilities called auras, which buff their damage temper and supers, and they won't use them. I have to switch to them, click the button, and then do the super for each of them, or they won't do it. And I think it sucks. I feel like they should there should be a way to say, hey, allow them to do this. There is for the items. You could tell them, hey, they're allowed to auto-use these items in this slot. Why can't it be for their specials? It's something I feel like is just tedious I have to swap between. When I generally like to play as one character, let my AI do their thing. Okay? One thing I forgot about the combat, it does have the E7 like thing where certain weapons do certain things to certain enemies. So like versus golems, fists are really good, but swords might suck. Or bows might suck. So you're constantly wanting to swap your weapons, which is a good thing. But other than that, the party member issue could be better. Voices during combat. I will show you. I will show you the issue I have. I will show you. Watch this. Here! There! So, that might not seem bad in one running, but let's just go here. After hearing that for 6 hours, and I'm not even doing, like, the guy when he has the sword out says other thing. When Cyan has the sword out, he does things, and they all just say it the whole time. It's annoying. So I go, great. There's got to be a way in the settings to turn it off, right? There's got to be a way to turn battle voices off, right? No. There's no way. There's no way to turn off. The only option you can do is you can turn off voices altogether. Then you get no voice dialogue for main story stuff, which sucks. That is a terrible thing. Add a line below this. A patch. Do a patch tomorrow that says, hey, can turn battle voices off. That's it. It's just... the menu is so lackluster in a lot of things. Like, that's all. And your controls. That's all we got. They could have added so much more shit. For a lot of things. There's just graphics. High, low, or medium. Shadows on, shadows off. All that's missing. And I feel like the fact that you can't control more of that is appalling. Especially the battle voice. It drives you nuts. There were points in my stream where I turned off voices, and I was like, this sucks. I can't hear dialogue. Would turn it back on. Would go back. Oh shit, this sucks again. Turn it back on. It's just, it's an easy fix. So please, I beg. Now, there's also the boss sections. Now, the bosses are all the same. They have a big armor meter. You have to deplete their armor. Then you can damage their health for a little bit. They get their armor back. Delete their armor. Can damage their health again. Delete their armor. And so on until you kill the boss. It's very boring because none of the bosses are hard. They do, like, the same two things. You can literally just go, like, hey, punch, punch, punch. Walk around. He's doing big red line. Punch, punch, punch. Do a big red line. Punch, punch, punch. Big red line. That's literally all the bosses I fought so far. So it's just boring, and they need more AI. And from a game published by Xseed, where they've done East, they needed a difficulty, and this game has no difficulty. There's zero. None. I could give this to a 3-year-old, they could probably beat most of the bosses. And it's even worse with side bosses. You'll run into a sign that says, danger, experienced party members only. I went in, first time, so like, I've played games like this, I could do it. Boss one-shots me. I'm like, oh, okay. Not a big deal. I don't mind if there's a one-shot mechanic. I've played East on Inferno. You gotta be good at dodging. You go back, and I start hitting the boss. And his health, it doesn't tell you, like, what level you need to be there, and you can't really gauge. Because I've gone back way later, and it's still the same issue. Dude, it could take you 20 minutes. Because they are just sponges. They literally have, like, one guy I fought literally did, like, this swing attack like this, and then he'd do, like, a red square in front of him that you'd easily dodge. You'd punch him. He'd go to do it again. Punch him. Go to do it again. Punch him. And it takes, like, 20-25 minutes, and it's, like, he's not hard. It's just a long sponge fight, and I'm not a fan of sponge fights. It's the reason I didn't get into a game like Tales of Arise. I thought a lot of the encounters were just spongy. Make your difficulties hard. Keep the one shot. Make them have a lot more mechanics. Make them jump at me and I have to react dodge. That's the whole point of having a react dodge, I thought. And then I can at least kill them in 4 to 5 minutes if I'm very freaking good at the game. And that's how it should be. There's no point in sponges. Sponges are boring. They just prolong the game. Get rid of it. Tweak your encounters. Make him still one-shot me. Make him have more dangerous mechanics where I have to time dodges, maybe 2 or 3 in a row. Maybe make it to where my allies, if I dodge too, so they're not getting hit. There's a lot of things they could do. Okay? Just something I don't like. I'm not a Sponge fan. Now, there's 2 last things before we go into this game worth it. And that's your opinion. Item descriptions.
What should I look up?
Restore some HP. I would love to see a number, but I'm not going to hate the game for that. These are pretty self-explanatory. Those are good. Crafty names, fine. Now, what the fuck are these? The augments to your weapons. What does aura gauge up D mean? I know what an aura gauge is. It's the little orange bar by them. I know what that is. I get that.
I check?
Understandable. But what does F mean? D+, D, C. Multi-type trigger strikes. What do these mean? Does that just mean my trigger strikes more? Let's see if I can find some other ones. We know what most of these things mean, the first thing, but like, in general. Enemy F, like, what does that mean? Please, if it means A is better and F is worse, explain that. Or at least have like a bigger tooltip bar where I can't like select it and brings up what that actually means. It's just, it's goofy. Like, prevent damage, but how much? Chance to prevent seal, okay, makes sense. Seal's probably like a mute, like in any other game. I mean, it's just, they could do a lot better in this department. I don't know, just, I don't like it. I don't like it. Or like, just stats in general. What do levels do? My guy gains levels. He gets HP, is that it? Am I getting strength? I have no idea. Let's hit status, that'll tell me, right? No? Doesn't tell you. I have no idea if I'm getting stats, or just level means HP. Which it kind of did Secret Amount of, I'm pretty sure you still got stats. Don't know. Not a fan of it. Could do way better there, especially with the letter grading. Now if we go into multiplayer. I haven't confirmed this for true, but I actually believe it, because I think it did take a while to get it. This game is advertised as multiplayer. Multiplayer in this game, you unlock it after I think 2 or 3 hours. Probably more closer to 3. Steam has a refund policy that says you can't refund the game after 2 hours. Some people bought this game expecting multiplayer. They go, okay, I have to unlock it. They weren't enjoying the game. They get to multiplayer to see if they'll enjoy it with a friend, because I believe multiplayer would make this game a lot more fun. Like, playing with a friend, I think a lot of the issues wouldn't matter, because you're having a good time with a buddy. But you spend 3 hours doing that, you start playing, you're not enjoying it. You go, okay, I'm just going to refund the game. Sorry, you can't. You bought it to play with your friend, but you have to go through a bunch of shit to do it, and now you can't refund it. Pretty scummy. I don't like that at all. I understand, but that should have been made clear that this is a single-player game with the aspect of multiplayer unlocked later. Anyone who plays Secret of Mana knows that. Like, you don't get multiplayer until a little bit in, but it should be made abundantly clear to new consumers. Not everybody's played Secret of Mana. People are just looking for a good ARPG. And that's pretty much the bad. So as I said, there's some good, there's some things they can improve, and there's just some straight bad in the game. As I said, just probably going through it in my head, I'm closer to a 6. I think the game is playable. It's fun at times. You're going to find enjoyment. You can get immersed. There's just going to be stuff that annoys you and breaks your immersion. That's a big game breaker for me a lot of the time, because I'll be like really into it. It's like, oh, exclamation point, I'm playing the game. Oh, shoot, the music's not that great. What am I even listening to? I'm like debating going to YouTube to put music on. That's terrible. Dang. The voices in combat are really annoying me. I'm having to go to a menu and unimmerse again. And that's the issue I have with the game. But I put it as a 6. It's good. I think you'll have fun out of it. I think most JRPG people will get their money out of it. Have some enjoyment with it. But, is $50 too much? Probably. Would I wait? Probably. They might address some of the issues. Who knows? I'm sure if the game went on sale for like $25, $30, I'd probably buy it then. 50 though? There's a lot of stuff I could buy for 50. I can spend $10 more to get Octopath 2, one of the best RPGs to ever come out, not let alone this year. I could spend $20 to get Monster Sanctuary, sometimes 10. One of the best hidden gem RPGs I've played the last couple years. Could get most of the Tales games. There's just a lot of things that I think would be way better. And frankly, if you waited, I would understand. But this is a decision you have to make on your own. These are just my opinions in the end. I might be too nitpicky on some stuff. I totally agree. I've tended to do that. But this is just how I feel about the game. And hopefully this guy helps you guys out. I may or may not put like my first hour or so up, just so you guys can actually see what the game looks like yourselves. I might do that later if people want to see it. Not sure yet. And then I'll continue to play it. My goal is to beat it, 100% it, hopefully, on Twitch. On twitch.tv/KAIUSSS. That's 3 S's at the end. And we'll go from there. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for checking it out. Hopefully it's helped you in some way. Other than that, have a good one. Until next time, take care.